Hey there everyone, this is a little bit out of the ordinary for my channel. Instead of challenge mode runs, I'm going to be doing a tutorial series on the overload options menu. This is intended for new pilots in the 6 Degrees of Freedom genre, or those who are returning after many years after hearing about overload and have just picked this game up for the first time. So whatever camp you fall into, welcome aboard. I hope you enjoy this game as much as I do. We're about 2 weeks from release at the time of this recording. I am on version 0.9 build 120. This is the final early access build before full release. There will likely be some very subtle changes between what I see here and if you watch this after the 31st of May 2018, what you see on your screen, but I would not expect the core functionality to be any different. Aside from that, the only other caveat is that I do not have a joystick. Just don't have one. I have a gamepad, and I'll try and cover some of the stuff behind that, but a lot of this is geared towards keyboard and mouse players. However, if you do have a joystick, please feel free to join the Discord. The URL is in the description. There are a wealth of pilots who have a treasure trove of knowledge about joysticks, and they would be absolutely thrilled to help you out. So let's get started. Oh, and one other caveat is my mic is a little bit sensitive for key presses, and I say and a lot, so if things sort of like seem like they skip around, I'm editing myself because I'm super embarrassed about it and I'm not good at scripted videos. So, all right, let's go. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to go to play mission, do the training mission, drop in on any difficulty you want, and you're going to be placed in this room, probably in a little bit flatter orientation, but we're not going to worry about that at the moment. You're going to hit escape, and then you're going to go to options, and then we're just going to work our way through these, but in a little bit different order. We're going to do cockpit and HUD for this video, we're going to do graphics options for this video, and then we're going to work through controls for the remaining videos. Sound options, I'm assuming you can figure these out. If not, I don't know what to tell you. That all makes sense, right? Right. Okay, cool. So first let's do cockpit and HUD options. You have 3 options. Green is the classic descent, but these two, amber and aqua, you may recognize from Volition's Free Space series. These are the HUD options there. I am a huge fan of green. This is totally personal preference. Then you're going to have reticle styles. I work with full. I like having a wealth of information in front of me at all times. It's really easy to read. There's a reduced HUD, and then there's also a minimal HUD. And again, that's very much personal preference, however you want things to be set up there. HUD right side display. I have mine set to secondaries. This may default to primaries. Secondaries is like in the original Descent series and in most 6th games that I've played. You have your primary weapon on the left side of your readout and your missiles and secondaries on the right side. Banner messages are going to show up a lot, especially if you play a lot of challenge mode. Banner messages convey all sorts of information that is pretty necessary for you to do well. This can range from either an incoming super robot, an ambush, a robot surge, or even a weapon upgrade that you've acquired through good performance. So this, I would advise leaving it on, but of course, this is all personal preference. Please do whatever you like. If you switch this off, you're going to see smaller messages up at the top of your screen with the rest of the information that you'll be getting. So like weapon pickups, shield gain, stuff like that. Text for audio messages. I take this to be subtitles. As you fly through the main campaign, you're going to pick up small items that play a bit of audio. If you want subtitles for that, great. If you don't, great. So that's about that. The cockpit is, controversial. Well, not really controversial. This is again up to you. I leave it off. I like seeing everything. There are 2 settings only: off or on. You can have this off or on for VR. I guess I should add another caveat that I don't have a VR set, so I'm just sort of flying blind, so to speak, on that. So don't quote me on any of this. Definitely ask people who have VR headsets, check out the Discord, etc., etc., etc. Cockpit sway is if you have the cockpit on, you can have normal cockpit sway, which moves the cockpit a pretty significant amount, low cockpit sway, which naturally not as much, or you can leave this off. Some viewers of streams, some players themselves have reported that cockpit sway does give them a little bit of extra visual feedback that they don't enjoy, so by all means leave that off if you feel as though you need to. Next up, we're going to do graphics options for the final part of this video. These are all very much, you know, your system, your preference, etc., etc. I have everything off just when I'm doing recording sessions or Twitch streams, but my machine, I'm on, what, an i5 4590 with 16 gigs of RAM, so at the time of this recording, that's 4 generations out of date, and a 1070. But I can run all of this at maximum and get out 120 frames per second. It's really up to you. If you turn things all the way off, you get a little bit closer to, you know, that sort of 90s shooter experience. If you turn everything on, then it's very much, you know, a modern shooter. So those options you've seen in the past. Really, the two that I can show you that you should check out are the field of view. I have mine set to 90. That is the maximum. You can walk that down in increments of 2 degrees, and it gets the field of view gets smaller and smaller, and what you see gets closer and 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 closer, all the way down to 68 degrees, which is pretty different than 90. I like 90 personally. There are 6 brightness values ranging from -2 to +4. The lighting model has changed from early access 0.9 build 120 to whatever release is. My assumption is that anyway. This looks a little bit different than the playable teaser version 3.0, which was very close to the final code base. Things are a little bit darker in the final release of the game than in early access. So if things are too dark, turn it up. If they're, you know, if you're looking for a little more of a survival horror experience, turn it down to -2. Again, totally just preference. I'm just trying to get a sense of what it actually looks like without having to back all the way out and then change things and then go all the way back down in. So that should about do it for this very first video. Covered a lot of ground comparatively. So next time we're going to go through the very, very, very deep control options menu. This is going to be rather complex, and I may actually make it another 2 videos behind this with extra ones on top of that. So stay tuned. Thanks for checking in. I'm sorry this one wasn't all that interesting, but the next one is it's going to get a little more difficult.